It'll be one to go this time by. Coming to the green, buddy, coming to the green. Let's go get him. Go, 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 go.
Get your motor running. Head out on the highway.
Jerry Bonkowski, Yahoo Sports. Jimmie, not so much for yourself, but in the whole big picture, is the current format of the chase fair? I mean, we got a lot of emails this past week about fans saying guys who at least have at least 1 or 2 wins should be in the chase, even if they don't make the top 12. Would you go along with something like that, or does that maybe kick somebody out of the chase that, you know, like maybe like a Jeff who doesn't have any wins this year?
Well, I think that in today's world of fan interaction and fan involvement, you know, a lot of opinions can come through, and it's one thing that makes our sport what it is. But I disagree with those thoughts. And every time that there's an I guess box full of emails saying, you know, this would be a great idea, I don't think that they're factoring all things in. Our sport was built on 400 and 500 mile races, a 32 to 8 race schedule. You know, over the years it's kind of gone up to 36 now. Like it or hate it, it's built on consistency. The championship always has been that. So NASCAR has a fine balance of maintaining what they've built over the last 60 years and what keeps the fans engaged. And I think the chase represents you know, the best 12 drivers, the best guys in points, the way it's always been in the sport, and I think that that's the right way to look at it. We can't go through and say, all right, if you've got a win, you're in, then it's going to break down to top 5s and top 10s, and the next thing you know, it's going to be where you qualified and your qualifying average. It's got to stop somewhere, and I think that the overall design of the chase works really well.
Go Dustin, Ed, Bob, go.
Dustin Long, Landmark Newspapers. Jimmie, in light of the Hornaday situation and with NASCAR saying they're going to be coming out with a revised drug policy soon, a couple things. What kind of questions will you have about this drug policy that comes out? And what kind of concern is that? Is that if something is even prescribed for somebody, how it might not help them on the track in some way?
You know, I assume that's why NASCAR over the years hasn't jumped onto a more strict policy, because where do you draw those lines? I don't know anything about testing in other sports. I don't have a clue what these performance enhancing drugs can do. To me, it seems like it's all physical stuff. And yeah, there is a physical aspect to our sport, but we're not an Olympic runner. We're not doing the different things that you require for your body. So I guess I need to educate myself, and I need to learn and understand more. But I really feel NASCAR looks at things fairly, and they're going to put something in place that is going to allow everybody to come out, regardless of medical conditions, whatever it is, to race and be out there safely and in a fair manner. I just don't know enough about these performance-enhancing drugs and testing procedures and what goes on to really speak much to it. But I know, watching and knowing Lance Armstrong a little bit, and what he can and cannot eat. I mean, he can't take pain medicines. I mean, you think of what those guys put themselves through. But in order to walk the fine line they have to in their sport, I mean, that's an extreme way to live life. And I don't think something like that's going to work in our sport. I don't think it's needed either.
We'll go Ed, Bob, and then end with Ron. Go.
Ed Hinton, ESPN.com. Jimmie, the things that you and Chad have kind of hit on the last couple of weeks, how translatable is that to some help for the 24 team, or are you guys' driving styles still so different? Are they close to being able to hit on what you guys have hit on, or is it kind of apples and oranges there?
I think they're close. It's tough to take what you've been working on and completely change it and put something else in. And through the experience I've been through, you see different setup trends that work for your teammates, and you try to implement them into your car. And I see the 24 doing that stuff right now. And some of the stuff we're doing didn't work for us at the beginning of the season and hasn't worked for the 24 over the season. But there are 2 other adjustments that need to go with that concept, with that thought, to make it work. And you just have to walk down the road and figure it out. You can't just jump in the deep end and hope it works, and especially at this point in the game. So I think we're learning a lot with the 48 car. We've been testing still and learning a lot about what we need. And I think it will help company-wide. It just takes a little time for everybody to kind of work with it and understand it.
We'll go Bob, then final question with Ron. Go.
Jimmie, in the first few years of the chase, drivers and crew chiefs would say it's all about 10 error-free races. Now they're all talking about, well, to win the championship, you got to win races. Is what you did, was that a game changer last year?
It could be, but I still feel we won't know what is needed until 5th, 6th, 7th race in. You just don't know. You look at 06, Talladega, we all thought I was out of it. Came back. Last year, wouldn't have had a chance with that. You know, needed the 4.9 or 4.8 average, whatever it was, to win the deal. So it depends on the other 11 guys and the types of starts they get off to in the chase and where that stuff all falls into place. We're all preparing for the worst. I think we're all talking about how you need to win races, and chances are that's going to be the case, especially with so many guys running well. But again, we just don't know.
Final question, Ryan.
Ryan Burry, ESPN. Jimmie, having been there, done that twice, the other two big guys, Kyle and Carl, haven't been there. You talked about your first time through. You felt the pressure more than you did last year. How might the experience of being there and getting it done help you? And also the word momentum going into a chase, is it overblown once the chase starts?
I feel that my experience does help me. I feel that it helps me focus on the right things since we have pulled off a championship. You know, if I look at 06 to 07, there were a lot of things in 06 I was worried about. In 07, I had a better idea of what were the important things to worry about, and I just focused on those and gave myself a break mentally through the chase. Where in 06, I was just freaking out about everything. And I hope that that experience will carry into this season's chase and give me an advantage and mainly give me some relief from my own head and the things I worry about trying to, you know, do something special in our sport. And those guys have the pressure of winning their first. So I hope there is something there. Only time will tell, and everybody's got to win their first at some point. So it's not saying that it's an advantage they can't overcome, because at some point you got to win your first. What was the second after that? The momentum.
Is it overblown? You obviously have a ton coming into this race, but does that mean anything now?
You know, it helps for the week leading into the next event, and I'll climb in the car with a ton of confidence. But as soon as you go out and make that first lap, you know, maybe first 5 laps, you know where you're at, and you're like, okay, well, I mean, we either have it or we don't. So in our sport, we race on so many different tracks from week to week and different styles of tracks. It's tough to have the momentum carry you too far. It builds confidence. It helps you sleep better during the week leading into that race. If you go back to a track that's similar to where you just had success, you know, it does help you there, and you do carry some momentum in, but chances are you're going to leave a big track and go to Martinsville, and Martinsville to Talladega, and it's tough to have that same magic work at each venue.
Jimmie, thanks a lot. All the luck to you this weekend.
Thank you.